What's up, Niner fam? My name is JT Magnum. Welcome back to Niner News. 49ers played their first preseason game on Sunday night, and it was awesome. I was just waiting to watch it. I was so excited, and it was all that I wanted. I got to see the starters play. Well, some of the starters. I got to see a lot of what's to come this year. And it's only the first game. Nothing to get too excited about and nothing to read into really yet, but I will offer you my takes on what I assessed when I watched it and what I got a feel for of how the 49ers are going to be this year. I mean, we really don't know. It's all prediction. It's all hearsay. It's all about, about what you kind of see. You can't read too much into it because you don't know. It's all vanilla defenses. It's all the offenses are weird, and everything's weirder in the preseason. Just kind of evaluating the people that we have. But let's get into it. Let's talk offense first. The 49ers ran like 50 plays, I think, in the first half to 25 for the Texans, and they outgained them 302 yards to 69 or 70 yards or something for the Texans. It was some ridiculous number like that. The 49ers basically dominated the first half. And that's what you want to see out of your starters and your second stringers, dominating the first and second stringers of the Texans. Now, mind you, the Texans were without J.J. Watt, and they were without Jadeveon Clowney as well. Two of their best, obviously, pass rushers and one of the best defensive talents in all of football. But still, the 49ers did have their way with them, did run the ball very well, and the Houston Texans have a really good secondary. And this offense, you can tell it's different. You get the feel that Chip Kelly is running the show. This offense is going to be explosive. Now, I don't know if explosive as in big plays passing or things like that, but I mean explosive as in big plays in the run game, and explosive as in just running plays and grinding out people, basically wearing people down. And that's what this offense looks like it could do. It did that to Houston in the first half. And I can see it doing that to teams later on if they have success, especially the way this offensive line is playing. I'll get to that in a second. But the 49ers are running a lot of plays. They're getting to the huddle fast. They're not even basically huddling at all. They're just basically getting to the line of scrimmage, looking at the coaches, and getting their play calls in from that. And that's a much... I don't know if you remember the Harbaugh and Jim Tomsula era. I don't even know if you remember basically the Mike Nolan, Jim Harbaugh, Mike Singletary, Tomsula, all that whole decade long of torture where we got so many delay of game penalties. Basically since Alex Smith was playing. I mean, it was delay a game. So many times we got delay of game penalties, it was actually torture. This was actually a complete opposite. They were at the line of scrimmage already. They're ready. The plays are rolling. They're ready to roll. They're snapping plays. Within basically, they complete a pass or they run the ball. They get right up. They go right back to the line of scrimmage, and they're ready to start their offense. They're ready to run another play. It's crazy. It's weird seeing the 49ers do that kind of stuff, but I like it. And I'll explain why I like it in a second. But first, let's talk about quarterbacks. Kaepernick did not play. Apparently, he has really bad shoulder soreness, or he's got, I don't know, according to Adam Schefter, he's got a bad arm. Something's wrong with him, and we'll see what happens in the coming weeks if that's really true or what's happening. But if he has a dead arm or if something happens with him, obviously Gabbert's going to be your starter. He played well. Not great. I mean, he was 4 of 10. He wasn't great. He looked a little shaky at first. Maybe he had the nerves or whatever get into him. But I think as time rolls on, maybe we'll see him get better if he ends up being the starter. But I'm anxious to see what Cap does in this offense because I'm sure everybody's anxious to see what Cap does because I want to get some clarification on who's going to end up starting. Like I said, I think Gabbert's going to end up being the starter. I personally, I don't know what I want between the two because I think they're almost, it just seems like they're the same, but we just want that Cap from 2012. We want to be successful. We know what he can do. We've seen him do it, and we want that Cap. Gabbert, we don't know. We haven't seen him do anything really other than what he did last year, and it wasn't great. It was okay, but you just, for being a Niners fan, you just want what Cap can bring because you've seen it. But you just been through so much heartbreak the last couple of years with seeing him mess up that you don't want that. So we'll see how it goes. Well, hopefully Cap can play the next game against Denver. But as for the other quarterbacks, Thad Lewis did okay. He ended up getting hurt, tore his ACL. He's out for the season. I kind of secretly wanted that to happen. I mean, I didn't want him to get hurt. I just wanted him to be gone. I want him to get cut. I like Jeff Driscoll. Despite him not throwing the ball well yesterday, he ran the ball very well, and you could see his athleticism. The guy was just escaping and hauling. Like, he is fast. I don't know if you guys know the 4.5 speed. He's fast. He's as fast as corners, and he's like 6'4" or so, and like 230 pounds. The dude can move. So I really like that a lot. I'm hoping, well, obviously he's going to end up being our third quarterback now. We're just going to sign somebody to play in the preseason, and then we'll probably let him go. We'll cut him, but I like that a lot. So I'm anxious to see what happens with the quarterbacks. But the wide receivers, nothing much to talk about there. There wasn't really much going on with the wide receivers. DeAndre Smelter's hurt. Eric Rodgers is hurt. Those are the two guys I really wanted to see. Eric Rodgers is gone for the season, and now DeAndre Smelter might be actually gone for the season as well. Apparently, he's week to week. They don't know what is happening to him. He's going to end up on the injured reserve list, I believe, and that leaves it open for now. Bruce Ellington obviously was a starter yesterday. Torrey Smith and Quentin Patton. Quentin Patton looked good on a few plays, just couldn't get the ball. Like, he couldn't get the ball delivered to him, but he was open. And I like that. He was open a lot. He wasn't covered. He was wide open on a few occasions. Just didn't get the ball thrown to him correctly. Either got thrown at his feet or got thrown twice, I think, they're thrown at his feet. Just couldn't get a hold of the ball. If he gets a hold of some passes, if he's able to break free on something, like, he can make moves, that guy can actually be something good. And I actually was happy about that. I thought that he would be somebody that wouldn't be that good this year, that maybe he was on the bubble, but he looks to me like he's improved this year. He's really stepping into his role as hopefully the number 2 wide receiver opposite Torrey Smith. Really, there's a 3 receivers that start because Chip Kelly runs a 3 receiver set pretty much all the time. So Bruce Ellington, Quentin Patton, and Torrey Smith are obviously the starters as for right now, but we'll see what happens in the future. I don't really know. There wasn't really much going on with the wide receivers yesterday, so it's not really much to evaluate. But running backs, whoa. Everybody was running well despite the fumbles. Juwan Harris fumbled once. Carlos Hyde fumbled, of course, for the only Texans touchdown in the first half. That happened early on. Can't have fumbles. Can't have that kind of play. I thought the offensive line blocked pretty well and everything, but the running backs were running wild. Mike Davis, I thought, was much improved. When he broke the line of scrimmage, I didn't even know who he was, actually. And that first, 44-yard run, I was like, who is that running the ball? Like, what was that? He, exploded through the line. He burst through there, and he was just out. And I was like, whoa. But he really impressed me. Sean Drawn was okay. Carlos Hyde had a couple good runs. And Juwan Harris even had a couple good runs. Despite that fumble, though, I think his stock went a little down because of that. Kendall Gaskins, I'm not really a fan of him. I don't think he's going to even make the team again. Calvin Taylor, I thought, did okay. Nothing great, but I really like the running back position. I really think it's a deeper position than people think. I think they don't realize how deep the 49ers are at running back. I think this is going to be a great class. But I think Juwan Harris and Kendall Gaskins are going to be the 2 men out on this. I really think Mike Davis, Calvin Taylor, because of his draft stock and because of how good of a player he is, and he's very versatile. He can play special teams as well. Sean Drawn and Carlos Hyde are going to be the 4. I think those are going to be the 4 running backs on this team. If they keep 5, it'll be a miracle, but I think those are going to be the 4 running backs on this team. But we'll see. Things can change throughout. There's 3 more preseason games left. Really, the 4th is really the audition, but there's 3 more preseason games left, so I want to see what they do. Tight ends, didn't see much from them except for obviously Vance McDonald had the nice big long touchdown catch and a nice nifty move. He got open, he slipped past the linebacker fell. Gabbert delivered a strike. He just basically faked out the safety and went right into the end zone. It showed his versatility. It shows the way Chip Kelly uses tight ends, and I think if Vance McDonald can catch the ball, he'll be good in this offense, and he's going to have a nice season if he can do that. I was anxious to see some other guys. I didn't see much from anybody else. I really want to see Buster Anderson. I'm really a big fan of Buster Anderson's. I don't know why. I'm hoping he's not a guy that gets cut, because I think he's a guy that can actually be utilized well. He seems to make tough catches. He seems to be fast, and I really love fast tight ends. So hopefully he can be used, but there's a lot of talent on the 49ers at tight end. They're in love with Blake Bell. They're in love with Garrett Selleck as well. So they just gave Garrett Selleck a contract, so he's going nowhere. And I don't know. It's one of those deep positions. I think they should though look at Buster Anderson a little bit more. I think he's just a nice athletic tight end. I want to see a lot more of him. The O-line, wow. The O-line is just, to me, it's a much different O-line than last year. It was great to see Eric Pierce with the second string and third string because you know what? Screw him. It was good to see Anthony Davis back out there, but I think, and I said it, and even the announcer said it in the game. I believe his name is Floyd. I don't remember his name. Tim Ryan. I'm sorry, Tim Ryan. Even he said it in the game. He said that he thinks it's going to be basically on the left side of the line. It's going to be Staley, Garnett, Joshua Garnett, Daniel Kilgore, then Anthony Davis at right guard, and right tackle being Trent Brown. If that is the case, or Trenton Brown, if that is the case, I'm happy. I said it from the beginning. I think that Anthony Davis should be converted back to right guard. He's not that good of a tackle, I think, anymore. I think his versatility would be great at right guard. Him and Trent Brown anchoring the right side with Garnett and Staley anchoring the left side. That's a nightmare for anybody trying to stop the run against us. And I think we can run from left or right. It doesn't matter, and in between. And to me, that's the ultimate starting lineup right there. And I think that's going to be the one eventually that you see towards the end of the year or the middle of the year or maybe at the beginning. I don't know. We'll see. But he said they're going to put the best 5 linemen they can on the field, and that's what they're going to do. And that's what I like. I hated the way the Niners used to do it. They just went by their positions and just put people on the field. There always wasn't, to me, the best players weren't always on the field. It was just the best players they thought for the scheme. Well, Chip Kelly's a little different. He puts the best players on the field to play, period, and makes them mesh together. And that's what I like. And that's what I like to hear. So hopefully that's what the case. But let's get on the defense now. The defense, they looked great. They looked absolutely fantastic. Don't worry about the last part of the game where the Texans scored a couple touchdowns. Don't worry about that the second half because that wasn't really the starters. But if you look at the starters, now mind you, they started without Aaron Lynch. They started with Eli Harold and Ahmad Brooks, the outside linebacker. Ahmad Brooks got a sack, but that defensive front looked amazing. Let's start with inside linebackers. I thought that the beginning of the game, they got a nice run right at the beginning of the Texans, and it was of course Will Hoyt. Will Hoyt and Bowman shot through the line, but he kind of missed the guy's feet, and Will Hoyt of course got stuffed, and I didn't like that. I don't like Michael Will Hoyt. I'm hoping he's one of the guys that gets cut, but we'll see what happens with him. But Ray Armstrong, wow, he actually looked a really fast. Really good, much improved from last year seeing him. But there was one play in particular I saw. The dude, Ray Armstrong cuts through. There was a run play. The offensive lineman comes out to block Ray Armstrong. Now, mind you, Ray Armstrong's only 220 pounds, maybe 230 pounds. The dude blasted the offensive lineman and just knocked the offensive lineman down right into and then hit the running back. Basically. Was able to stuff the play so that the running back got tackled. And it was just a thing of beauty. And when you see stuff like that, that's the guy you got to kind of get in. And he and Gerald Hodges are still my two favorites. I think Gerald Hodges might win that job. But Ray Armstrong is coming up fast. And he might be quickly escalating up to the top of that depth chart. And if he keeps playing like that, you want a guy like that on the team. Especially some of the guy who can run sideline to sideline, stuff the run, and be able to blast offensive linemen like that. That's who you want. Next to LeVar Bowman. So we'll see what happens with that, but that was awesome to watch. If you get a chance to rewatch that, try to, or look at my tweets. I retweeted somebody that actually tweeted that, but take a look at Ray Armstrong and how he played. The cornerbacks on lock. Wow, they were all over those wide receivers yesterday, especially in the first half. They were just all over the place. In particular, Chris Davis played well in the secondary. I didn't see Will Redmond. I don't know if he even played or not, but I don't remember seeing him. Tremaine Brock was all over the wide receivers, along with on the other side, Jimmy Ward played well. In particular, Keith Reeser kind of got caught a little bit. Kenneth Acker, suspect. I think he's really on the bubble. I don't think he has any kind of chance of making the team. Marcus Cromartie seems to be making his chance because he's playing safety as well. He's new to that, but they like him at safety. I like the moves. I love when you convert corners to safeties because they have coverage skills on top of that, and they can play safety. Eric Reed didn't play the game. He actually had his wife had a brand new daughter, his second child, so he didn't play his game. Antoine Bethea played a little bit, I saw, and Kwaski Tart played a lot too, but didn't see much from them. But the cornerbacks were on lock. They were on point. At the end of the game, they weren't at the second half, but man, for the most part, they played very well. They were contesting plays. They were all over the wide receivers, and I love to see that. Outside linebacker play. Ahmad Brooks, I thought, played well. Tank Carradine shined. There was one moment where Tank Carradine took an inside route and their running back got by, but he seemed to play all around a good game. Not great, but a good game, solid game. And Aaron Lynch, of course, dude's a beast. I can't wait till he comes back. He's got 4 games out, but he'll do well. Eli Harold played well for the most part. I'm looking forward to see what he can do. Obviously, he gained weight, to play that position. So we'll see what happens with that. And Tank Carradine, of course, lost weight to play that position. So, and he got I think he played very, very well, considering that was his first game at outside linebacker to do that. So I think he's going to be a bright spot for us in the future in that position. The D-line, wow. DeForest Buckner is an animal. He was just pushing the line. I thought he did a very good job. Mike Purcell, I thought, did a pretty good job. Overall, I think the defensive line played pretty well. There were spots where they weren't gelling yet for the most part, but those are things that you shore up and you will fix in class basically, and fix during preseason. And I think this D line is going to be solid. The defense as a whole, I think, is going to be the strong point, obviously, for the Niners, as it always has been for the last few years. But I think the offense won't let us down. So overall, I think it was a pretty good game. We lost, but that doesn't, like I said, don't read into losses in preseason. You're kind of reading into execution, how they play in situations. And I thought that for the most part, the 49ers played very well yesterday, especially in the first half. And like I said, that's what you want to see. You win the first half against the starters, and you play well against them, and that's what you want to see. So let me know in the comment section what you think about overall with the game, all the individual play. If there's any players that stuck out to you that I might not have mentioned in this video. I mean, I'm pretty sure I probably missed a few spots or something like that, but I pretty much think I covered some of it. But let me know in the comment section what you guys think and how you guys feel about the game, what you think about the Niners this year, and how that offense is going to play, how the defense is going to play. The defense, for the most part, I thought one really cool thing. A lot of media says that Chip Kelly's offense wears out the defense because of how many plays they play. But I thought this was kind of funny because the defense actually said that they weren't tired. That even though our offense had all those plays running against the Texans, they weren't tired on the field because they practiced so much during the practices against that kind of offense that they don't get tired now when they see a regular offense just coming to the field, not even doing the no huddle. So they actually have time to dissect the offense, assess what's going on, and make their coverage reads or make their calls, defensive calls, and get set. So they said they were actually ready, and they were in shape, and they were they were feeling great. So I thought that the media likes to say stuff. The media, don't listen to the media, period. The media loves to talk junk and say all the things they think that is going on because they feel like they should just say something, and it's news. It's something to say. A perfect example, Heath Evans. Oh my goodness, Heath Evans. He was talking so much junk about the 49ers yesterday. They played well on defense. They did well and everything, and all he had to say was, the 49ers, I read an interesting tweet yesterday. A guy said, the 49ers can go 16-0. And Heath Evans will still say they suck and still find a reason that they just, that they're not successful, that they're not a good team. He'll still say they're not a good team. That's the kind of guy Heath Evans is, and that's just how he is. He doesn't like anybody but New England, and that's just, who he is. So don't listen too much to the media and don't read too much into what they say because they don't really know. They don't cover the 49ers. They don't know anything about them. They're just making assessments based on what everybody else in the media is saying, and they could care less. It's news. It's a chance for them to speak. And if they're right, they're right. But if they're wrong, they'll never admit it. So that's just how it is. If I'm wrong, I will admit it in 2 seconds. I will admit it. Last year I was wrong. I thought the 49ers would make the playoffs. I thought they would surprise a lot of people. I was wrong. I admitted it. But still, the point is, these media guys, they will never admit they're wrong. And so Never listen to what they say. But like I said, let me know in the comment section what you think, what you thought about the game, about the players, about if there's any players that stood out to you. And like I said, let me know what you think about what I had to say. All right? So for JT Magnum and Niner News, I'm out. Peace.